Let's just think of failure for a moment. A nice, happy subject. What will your life be like in 5 years as a result of failing today? Is that going to mean anything in 5 years? No, not at all. See, what we do is we use this lie of the significance of failure, which is Big Five and electromagnetics, so that we won't choose, because as the humanoid you are, you don't care about failure. You're willing to do something even if it's not going to work out well, just to have the experience of having done it, to find out how it's going to work. Everything that is times a godzillion, and all the lies that you bought, and all the lies you bought, and everybody else's presumptive realities, and needs of reactive realities, and North Slime, and actualizers, and the fifth element about the whole failure thing. Will you destroy and create all that, please? Times a godzillion, right, wrong, about all nine, podpoc, shorts, boys, POVADs, and beyond. And how many of you didn't have a point of view about failure until somebody in your life had a major point of view about failure, usually their own, sometimes what they called your failure, but you didn't have a point of view. Here's the one other thing that sticks us a lot, is when we don't have a point of view about something. Like, let's say it's like, oh, we tried this, it didn't work. Oh, I asked this person out, they said no, they didn't want to. And you're like, oh, well, whatever. And then your friend is like, oh my God, aren't you destroyed? And you're like, oh, I should be destroyed. So how many of you learned how to respond to failure from other people's response to failure, which isn't even what you'd call failure, because you don't actually have a point of view about failure? Everything that is times a godzillion. We destroy and create it all, please. Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, POVADs, and beyonds. What if your point of view about failure? Ooh, I love it. I don't do anything in case it fails. Now I want to get right out and avoid the judgment of others. Oh, that sounds like so much fun. Let me ask you a question. Is that yours? No. You bought it as yours, though. So everything you did to buy it is yours when it wasn't. We destroy and create it all, please. Times a godzillion, right, wrong, about all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, POVADs, and beyond. Failure does not exist. So how much of the Big Five, how much have you bought from other people? How much of their Big Five have you bought about failure that makes failure real and true that actually isn't? How much of that is implanted and explanted? How many VVRs are the VVRs? And how much electromagnetics creates all that? Everything that is times a godzillion. We destroy and create it, please. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, POVADs, and beyonds. Who does this belong to? Is this actually mine? Okay, we have an app devoted to who does this belong to, because 98% of your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, and your points of view are not yours. 98% of the most stuck shit in your life is not yours. You bought it as yours when you were younger, okay? So when you were a little kid and your parents were afraid of failure, guess what you did? You're like, oh, we're afraid of failure. Okay. You'd see your mom do something and not succeed 1,000%, and then be like, oh my God, I'm so destroyed. And then here you are, 2.5 years old, and you're supposed to make your mommy happy because she tried something and it didn't work, which she calls failure and tells you is failure. She's like, oh, how can you love me as such a failure? She withdraws from you. She stops giving you energy. She stops loving you. She stops caring for you, sometimes for days or weeks. And you, as a little 2-year-old or 2.5-year-old, are like, what did I do wrong, mommy? Oh my God, failure is the worst thing in the world because mommy doesn't love me. She doesn't contribute to me. She pulls away from me, and failure, I'm going to avoid failure at all costs. Based on her presumptive realities, her Big Five, her absolute fucking insanity that had nothing to do with what an infinite being would choose. Remember that question, would an infinite being choose this? I gave you that, but you probably don't remember, and I don't blame you because it was yesterday. And I don't remember yesterday either because it was so long ago. Everything that is times a godzillion. All of your relationship to failure that is not yours, has nothing to do with you, has to do with all the shit you experienced and could not overcome in somebody else's world when you were younger. What the fuck, brah? Brasket? Everything that is times a godzillion. We destroy it and create it, place. And return it to center with consciousness attached. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, POVADs, and beyonds. And look at how many aspects of this fucking world, man. How much shit looks so real. Let me put it this way, okay? If it looks so real, if it's so intense, it's not real and not true for you. Yep, I've been doing this all day. Yeah, exactly. And that's how we get here, like that. And once again, thank you for bringing it, right? And so look at this for a moment. Remember, what's true for you makes you lighter. So if you have something that's this intense and this intense and this, that's not the intensity of the lightness of you. The intensity of the lightness of you, imagine all of us lowering our barriers, being here at El Lugar, and just having like a group hug in. Now, that terrifies some of you, I totally understand, but like, get what I'm talking about though, okay? Get the energetics of that intensity. Get the energetics of the intensity of the earth contributing to that, and all the horses here, and every plant, and every tree, and every animal, and every casita, and every piece of wood, and everything that was here because it knows it wants to be here to contributing to all of us. That's the intensity of your being. That's the intensity of your being, okay? That fucking intense anger, trauma, drama, rightness, wrongness, separation, avoidance, defense, proving, that's never you being you. But the gift of letting the intensity come out is where for at least a little while we don't have a sense of the wrongness of us. But what if we could allow ourselves to access us being able to walk through the world without a sense of the wrongness of us, recognizing that the intensity of our being is like that group cuddle puddle that somebody said, right? And like the intensity of nature, the intensity of earth, it's like, it's beautiful. And what if we recognize that the intensity of the contraction and the fight against and the defense and the hatred and the all that sort of stuff is not us actually being us? And what if just that acknowledgement, wow, if it's this contracted intense, what if it's not me? What am I? And what can I choose? What is it I be and what is it I can be that I haven't acknowledged?